Good morning, guys. It is day 3 of the World Tour, day 4, and I'm just out here enjoying the balcony, the view. It's really peaceful. It's around I want to say 10:30 a.m. over here in Dubai, and I mean, I really just wanted to kind of talk in an open format. Feeling really grateful, I'm feeling that I'm in a state of like very deep reflection. I'm reading this book called The Tibetan Way of Living and Dying. I came across this book after a friend of mine passed away. He was 32 years old and he passed away from cancer. And I haven't really been in touch with this guy, this person that passed away. And I knew he had cancer for about 2 years. Never reached out to him for some reason. It's not that we were friends right now. It was just like, it was the kind of relationship where we used to be friends probably 8 years ago or so. We were tight for 6 months. He was a coworker of mine, and then we just kind of went our separate ways. You know, I was always supporting him through social media and stuff like that because he was an artist, and I actually reached out to him many times via phone call shortly after our time together, but for some reason, you know, distance just comes in the way, and I found out through social media many years down the line that he was diagnosed with a cancer, and for some really weird reason I just never reached out to him. I never really said goodbye to him in this realm of existence, this world we live in. Right, so I found out that he died after 2 years of kind of aimlessly living my life, which is a beautiful life, which is a great life. I just realized that he passed away without ever giving it a thought to talk to him or to be there for him or to just communicate with him, maybe even once or twice or 3 times, just to check in on him. So out of that, you know, I went through his Twitter, I went through the social media, and I found that he never really let his death impact his life. You know, he was a musician, and when he was diagnosed, since his diagnosis, he put out like 4 albums, which is incredible if you really think about it. If you think about how hard it is to put out 1 album per year, he put out 4 albums in 2 years. And I think probably, I'm assuming the latter half of his last year of living was probably like, there was a lot of suffering there, because with cancer, the last 6 months typically are not fun at all. So it just got me thinking, you know, how is it that this guy who was diagnosed with cancer, how was he able to now crack the code? In his Twitter, he was able to have fun and talk, and just leading up to basically his death, or the time where his cancer got really bad, which was probably, I think, about 3 months prior on the timeline on his Twitter where he stopped tweeting. This guy was very accepting of his mortality, of his death, of his diagnosis. And I know it wasn't like that initially, because in one of his music videos after he was diagnosed, shortly after, he was contemplating jumping off of his balcony. And I think it's really in those moments where you realize how alive you truly are. And I feel really alive right now. You know, I feel like I'm in this, right now, in this moment, looking at this view, talking to you, talking to this device that makes it accessible to speak to tons of people I feel in this moment that I'm in this like beautiful flow state between death and life, and I'm not attached to one or the other right now. And I really do feel like because I'm reading this book and because of the experiences that I've recently had, I feel my heart feels so like overwhelmed with this, not joy, but with this feeling of neutrality, this feeling of impermanence. And because of this acceptance of this feeling of impermanence, I feel like I'm living at the highest magnitude and the highest order of life. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited for everything that is to come, because I know it's all just an amalgamation of fleeting moments. But because I know that, and because I truly feel like the last few days, the last week or so has shed this interesting and different perspective on me, you know, in a way, I have died. A part of me has died, and a part of me is being reborn into this different individual who is more reflective and contemplates death many times a day, contemplates, you know, my wife's death. I contemplate my family's death. I contemplate death as much as I can through this book, because just by having those thoughts and having those ideas, it's very liberating. It makes me appreciate all of the small moments. It makes me really appreciate every small thing in life, because nothing is guaranteed, and I take nothing for granted. And that's what's leading me to this vlog, you know? That's what's leading me to make this vlog. That's what's leading my wife and I to make this vlog. I'm gonna talk about me, because I'm gonna be heading this thing. For the longest time, I've been wanting to vlog. I've been wanting to do this YouTube thing. I've been wanting to put myself out there. But there was this person inside of me, or this cluster of ideas inside of me, that was against this. It was saying this is not who you are. But the truth is, we are always dying, and we are always being born into different phases and different individuals and different people, right? Who I was yesterday is not who I am today. Who I was a month ago is not who I am today. Who I was 6 months ago is not who I am today. And in that means that parts of you are dying and parts of you are being born. So it's up to us to choose which parts do we want to give way for this in this life, and which parts do we want to die off. And in reading this book, it's really funny, but I find myself tearing up. I find myself on the verge of crying, because through this book, through these realizations that I'm having, I feel parts of me. Through these realizations, I feel parts of me that are dying, that are dying off. And I am so grateful for that, because this book has just truly just shifted my perspective, and I'm only 35 pages in, guys. I'm only 35 pages in. But to tie it all back together, in the past week or so, I found out that my friend died. I was lucky enough to be able to go to his funeral before this insane trip that we're having. You know, for people who don't know, we're going on a 2-month trip. We started one day in Cairo. We're out here in Dubai for 6 days. Then we're going to Vietnam for 14 days. Then we're going to India for 10 days. Then we're going to Australia for 2 weeks. And we're going to New Zealand for 2 weeks. And then we'll be going back to California, where my wife and her family and some of my family lives. And we'll be enjoying some weddings. Through all this experience, through my friend dying, and my experience with that specific situation, and and now being in these beautiful countries where my wife and I, who I love so much, so incredibly much, we're able to experience this, and it's not guaranteed, but we're able to experience this. It's very overwhelming in the best way, because I know that it's not guaranteed. I know that I could go on the street, walking to the grocery store, and someone could literally hit me with their car, and I can die. It's as simple as that, guys. It's really as simple as that. And I know the argument is, oh well, you can't look at it like that. You can't look at life like that. I get it. I get you can't look at life like you're gonna die at every moment. But I argue that. I argue that you can't look at life like you're gonna die every moment. I think that you can die at any moment. And because of that, I believe that I am much stronger. I believe that I am much more in tune with the center of existence. But there's a lot that this book has to offer, guys, and it's changing my perspective on life. It's changing me completely, and I'm going to continue to kind of just vlog about this and post about this, because I do believe that my journey is going to help your journey. My journey is going to help the world. And your journey will too, if you believe that is your way. I don't think that everyone should be vlogging. I don't think everyone should not be vlogging. I think it's a matter of who you are and who you think you are, and being open as life goes on to divinity and what is calling you. This is honestly my first real vlog. I went on a really funny my wife and I were just like, let's get a GoPro so we can document our travels. And it's been the greatest thing ever, because we're able to reflect on things that we're doing in real time, and we're able to really dedicate a stream of consciousness into a specific technology, which is the GoPro. It's much easier to kind of do that than to do it in a phone, because the phone is so multi-purpose for us. We feel like we're not dedicated, if that makes sense, guys. It feels like we're not dedicating ourselves to a new experience. This GoPro is a new experience for me. My phone, I can do text message, email, calls, camera, social media, everything, right? So it doesn't feel like I'm doing something different. This feels like I'm doing something different. So I'm putting myself into a completely different experience, and I feel like we are benefiting from it right now. Obviously things can change. Life is impermanent. Who I am today is who I won't be tomorrow. But as of right now, guys, I feel very blessed. I feel very grateful to have the life that I live. Everyone has a different life, and you should be grateful for yours no matter what. But yeah, to kind of wrap it up, I'm feeling very overwhelmed for a multitude of reasons, but primarily my friend's death shed light on what it means to live. My friend's death has put me on a path to learning more about death and to becoming very intimate with the subject. My friend's death has led me to a book that is serving as my teacher. It is phenomenal. It is the Tibetan way of living and dying. And my friend's death came right before this life-changing world tour that my wife and I are going on. And the thing with traveling is that it's constant change. It's constant impermanence. You cannot be hell-bent on following a specific plan, because things change and things don't go your way. And you're living change every single day. You're living at the opportunity and at the will of change every single day. And that's why traveling is so beautiful. And that's why people, in my opinion, should try to go about traveling. Because if you're just stuck in your town or your city or your state every single day of your life, you're not subjecting yourself to that. Well, you still will be, but it's on a different scale when you're traveling because you're in a different country. You don't know as much. You must accept more. So all these things coming together is making for a very beautiful combination of gratitude, perspective, faith, love, tranquility, abundance, and it's giving me a lot of opportunities to exercise this ability to die and to live simultaneously, and to stay in that flow between those two. So with that, I'll wrap up. I'm going to continue to vlog, of course. I love vlogging. It feels really nice to get my thoughts out there into the world. And yeah, I wish all of you nothing but the best. I wish all of you to continue your journey with faith, gratitude, and openness. And stay open. And if there's one thing that you can take away from this video, it's open yourself a little bit more to the idea of death. Don't be afraid of it. Learn about it. If you're afraid of something, you don't know enough about it. So anyways, let's get back to vlogging. This was a little off tangent discussion vlog that I wanted to have, but all love to you guys, anyone who's watching. It doesn't matter if people are watching this. I really could care less. It's just a matter of having an outlet to express myself, to express ideas and thoughts and concepts. And you know what? Whoever stumbles upon this, I believe it is in the divine order that you are here. So cheers to you, and have a great life, guys.